Hi, I'm Karoliną Zbytniewską from EURACTIV Poland. Welcome to the EURACTIV European Parliament interview series. My guest is Juan Lopez Aguilar. Hello.
Hello.
The chair at Civil Liberties, Justice and Home Affairs Committee at the European Parliament. So, the new refugee relocation framework was set up by 5 countries, then just 3 joined. So 8 altogether. What about the other 20 countries of European Union? Where is this reluctance coming from? And Spain is not on board as well.
That is precisely the point. The Lisbon Treaty entered into force 10 years ago. The area of liberty, justice and security with a mandate, solidarity, shared responsibility, fairly shared responsibility when it comes to handling the external borders of the European Union and securing solidarity between and among member states as to the distribution of those who are trying to come to Europe. They should be enhanced in the possibility to do so regularly. So we have to open up legal pathways to get the job done, but mostly we gotta make sure that the response is European and consistent with European law, which means that it has to be a European framework. It cannot be no longer the initiative being taken by a reduced group of member states talking to each other or some partial solutions being provided on a provisionary basis every time we have an untenable situation, particularly in the seas. So we need a real European framework, a truly European framework which is consistent with European laws and European values. And that is the call that we have been insistently making to the Commission to respond, to unblock the asylum package, making sure that all of the assets and component elements of the response are in place and they are truly European.
Already from the side of Poland and Hungary, I would know their response to that pan-European solution. It would be no. Some countries won't claim that they just want to solve the problems on the ground, in the source countries.
That's no solidarity at all. And of course that's not the position of the European Parliament, on the contrary. We are extremely active and demanding in this matter, in this regard, because we have seen the tragedy of the death toll in the Mediterranean, many lives lost, and some countries also taking their share for all too long and all too much on their own. Some countries have invested massively public resources to attend the issue, and they should be respected with due solidarity from the rest. And it is not acceptable that some member states are simply not willing to cooperate or to not even to comply with decisions that have been made by the European institutions, namely the Council. The Council has made a number of decisions so far which have been utterly denied by some member states which were around the table of the Council itself in the first place. That's not acceptable. And infringement procedures is not enough. That is why we are calling for a rule of law, democracy and fundamental rights mechanism linked to budgetary measures.
Conditionality.
Yeah, conditionality on budgetary measures, so that everybody knows that we are part of a union which has rights of obligations to every member state.
There are over 1,000 people that are missing in the Mediterranean just this year. Still, some countries close their ports and let people die. How your motion for a resolution on search and rescue in the Mediterranean addresses the topic?
That is one of the issues I am about to explain, and I'm advocating for the adoption of this resolution precisely because I'm convinced that change must be brought about. The situation is not acceptable. We need first to recall the historic record of the European Parliament resolutions, or calling for a holistic approach, cooperation with countries of transit, origin and destination. We call for the cease of the criminalization of NGOs. We call to consider that Libya is not a safe state at all, it's not a safe place. We call for a European framework for disembarkation, safe disembarkation. We call for the reform of the Facilitation Directive, which allows some member states to criminalize NGOs rescuing lives at sea. Solidarity is not a crime, must not be a crime, and saving lives must not be a crime, cannot be a crime. No one can be brought to a criminal court of justice for having saved lives in the sea according to international maritime law and humanitarian law to begin with. And international humanitarian law is part of European law according to the Lisbon Treaty itself. And of course we also try to enhance the humanitarian aspects of the whole thing, humanitarian corridors. I was the rapporteur for the humanitarian visa in the last mandate of the European Union, calling on the Commission to take initiative on the matter. It's about enhancing legal pathways so that people in need should know that they really have a chance. They don't need to expose themselves to illicit trafficking of human beings, which eventually takes such an incredible death toll, which is unbearable. 1,000 people. We cannot allow ourselves to mourn those deaths on a regular basis. Ritually, we have been doing that for years. Now, it's about to change. It's about to bring about change and to actually deliver on the matter. All these component elements are considered in the resolution for search and rescue in the Mediterranean, and precisely to secure that there will be a truly European framework that provides help for those who are perishing in their attempt to set foot on the European Union, mostly exposing themselves to the most inhumane violation of human rights in the Libyan coast, which is not a safe place, not at all. And whenever they are free from that slavery in Libya, because they have been able, or the families, to pay the ransom to put them on a boat, they perish tragically in the Mediterranean in lack of a European response.
That's a very difficult topic. I hope we had more time to discuss it next time. Thank you very much for this conversation.
I thank you for the talk. Thank you for the invitation. Bye.
Bye-bye.